This feels like the image they said we would never see. The kind of photograph that burns into history books. For a decade, Trump seemed like untouchable Teflon Don to me. Impeachments bounced off like raindrops. Indictments boosted his poll numbers. Civil judgments were delayed, appealed, bonded away like legal origami. He lived in this parallel reality where consequences were for other people. But this morning, Saturday, January 24th, 2026, the Teflon appears to be melting under blowtorch heat. According to breaking reports I'm tracking from my sources, the American presidency seems plunged into chaos that feels almost orchestrated in its precision. Based on leaked court documents that started circulating before dawn, a New York State Supreme Court justice reportedly issued an immediate execution order against the Trump Organization that reads less like standard legal procedure and more like a corporate death warrant. From what I'm seeing, this isn't a threat or warning. Reports suggest this is a seizure order. The NYC Sheriff's Office is reportedly preparing to serve foreclosure notices on the most iconic Trump properties. We're talking about 40 Wall Street, Trump Tower commercial spaces. Unconfirmed reports even suggest the private jet. Why now? Why when he's in the Oval Office? According to sources, it connects to that Japan bond crash, claiming its first victim, the bonding agency securing Trump's massive civil fraud appeal. The Tokyo liquidity crisis caused a margin call that hit like financial tsunami. The insurer pulled the bond with ruthless efficiency. Trump, reportedly cash-strapped from legal wars and campaign debts, couldn't replace it in the court's 24-hour window. The math was brutal. No bond, no protection. The stay is lifted. The shield is down. For the first time in history, a sitting president faces liquidation of his empire by a hostile state. Sources suggest the Secret Service is in standoff with local law enforcement. The White House counsel is frantically calling the Supreme Court. The president is reportedly apoplectic, threatening to federalize the National Guard. We're watching the collision of capitalism, constitution, and financial crash in real time. Remember the $464 million civil fraud judgment from 2024? Letitia James's case? Trump appealed it. To stop asset seizure during appeal, he posted a bond. A surety company vouched for him for 2 years, but yesterday, the Japanese bond market didn't just decline. It cratered in a way that sent shockwaves through every connected financial system. The yen carry trade, that intricate web of borrowed money that powered global speculation for years, unwound like a financial tornado. According to leaked Wall Street Journal reports, the reinsurance consortium backing Trump's bond wasn't just exposed to Japanese debt, they were drowning in it. When Tokyo's markets opened to chaos Friday night our time, their balance sheet didn't just wobble, it imploded with the violence of a controlled demolition. They withdrew the bond. Usually, defendants get 30 days to find new bonds, but this is New York, this is Letitia James, and reportedly a judge who's lost patience. Given Trump's liquidity issues and global instability, no grace period was granted. The logic seems brutal. If he's worth billions, write a check. If he can't, secure the assets before they lose value. The order was signed at 9 a.m. Immediate seizure. Trump got a margin call on his life's work and couldn't meet it. What does Letitia James want? Not the golf courses. They're hard to sell and losing money. She wants cash flow and trophy assets. Target 1. 40 Wall Street, the crown jewel. Trump owns the ground lease, not the land. Taking it hits his NYC mogul identity. Valuable, liquid, symbolic. Target 2. Trump Tower commercial floors. Not the penthouse yet, but the Gucci store, atrium, office space. The sheriff can appoint a receiver, a court-appointed CEO who takes over. Imagine a Democrat-appointed bureaucrat walking into Trump Tower, firing Trump org management, redirecting rent checks to New York State. He'd still own it on paper but lose control and cash flow, a tenant in his own building. Target 3. Seven Springs Estate in Westchester. The fraud case property with inflated valuations. Low-hanging fruit since it's investment property, not his home. Target 4. Bank accounts. The most immediate threat. The sheriff sends levies to every New York bank, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo. Any Trump Organization account gets frozen. If this hits Monday payroll, employees don't get paid. Maids, doormen, executives, checks bounce. That's how you kill a company in 24 hours. This moves from financial to constitutional crisis. Trump Tower isn't just offices, it's the president's private residence, a fortress. The Secret Service controls perimeter, elevators, airspace. Picture this scene I'm envisioning. The sheriff approaches Fifth Avenue's iconic revolving doors, court papers in hand, news cameras rolling from across the street. A Secret Service agent in his crisp black suit steps forward, earpiece crackling, hand subtly positioned near his weapon. "Sir, you cannot enter. This is a secure zone, protecting the National Command Authority." The sheriff, probably a career civil servant who served papers on everyone from mobsters to hedge fund kings, holds up his warrant. "I have a court order to seize this property." The agent's response comes like a constitutional chess move. Federal law supersedes state law. For national security reasons, access is denied. The tension I'm imagining is electric. Two branches of law enforcement, both armed, both convinced they're right. Behind the agent, more Secret Service personnel appear. Behind the sheriff, court officers, and maybe NYPD backup. This creates a standoff that feels like something from a political thriller, except the cameras are real, and the constitutional crisis is unfolding live. The Attorney General likely anticipated this, targeting commercial entities first. You don't need penthouse access to seize LLC bank accounts, but imagine news footage of seized stickers on Gucci store windows in the president's home lobby. This looks like humiliation ritual designed to provoke reaction. If Trump orders Secret Service to block legal civil orders, he enters obstruction territory. He'll argue they're bankrupting him to stop governing, a coup by other means. White House sources describe the mood as nuclear, beyond anything they witnessed during the impeachments or indictments. Trump views his net worth as his soul, his buildings as his children, literal extensions of his identity carved in steel and glass. This isn't a legal dispute to him, it's existential violence. I'm picturing him in the residence, maybe staring out at the Washington Monument, phone pressed to his ear, voice probably raw from hours of screaming at lawyers, advisors, anyone within reach. He's reportedly demanding DOJ intervention, wanting an emergency injunction claiming presidential immunity from civil asset seizure. The legal theory is audacious, that a sitting president exists in a protected constitutional sphere where state courts cannot touch his private empire. This is novel legal theory. Supreme Court ruled presidents can be sued civilly in Clinton v. Jones. But can he be evicted? Can his business be liquidated while running the country? He'll argue distraction. Can't negotiate treaties or solve crises worrying about furniture auctions. Unitary executive theory taken to financial limits, but the Japan crisis weakens this argument. Public sees 401ks dropping, inflation rising. If he says, "Stop everything, save my golf course," the optics are suicidal. Connected to the wipeout poll, if he uses presidential power to save his fortune while the country suffers, he loses the populist mantle forever. Usually billionaires in liquidity crunches make calls to their networks. Saudi princes, Wall Street friends, hedge funds looking for returns. "Loan me $500 million for 6 months. You know I'm good for it." The billionaire's escape hatch for decades. But today the markets are broken. Japanese banks pulling cash home. American banks terrified of regulatory blowback. Saudis might be gone due to volatile oil prices. Trump is toxic collateral. Who lends $500 million to a president at war with courts, assets being seized, possibly impeached if midterms go badly? This immediate seizure order is deadly because the judge knows Trump is illiquid and Japan shock froze credit markets. They struck at maximum vulnerability. Coordinated financial decapitation. The MAGA base sees theft. Communism. They're stealing his buildings. Expect Trump Tower rallies and legal defense donations, though $464 million is hard to raise from $50 donations. This solidifies the system-destroying him narrative, powerful martyrdom complex. but independents are the electoral danger zone that keeps campaign strategists awake at night. Americans have this deep psychological need to back winners, and there's something primal about wealth that signals competence to voters. Part of Trump's magnetic appeal was that simple, powerful message: I'm rich, I can't be bought, I'm successful. If he's broke, if his golden buildings are getting seized like common foreclosure properties, if he's viewed as just another deadbeat who can't pay his bills, that carefully constructed aura of competence shatters, like expensive crystal hitting concrete. The question echoing in voters' minds becomes devastatingly simple. If he can't even manage his own bond payments, how can he possibly manage the world's largest economy? Combined with wipeout poll and Japan crash, this looks like collapsing administration. We're witnessing possibly the final act of Trump's business story. Whether he saves buildings or not, damage is done. Invincibility veil pierced. The billionaire treated like foreclosure victim. Heading into Sunday, I'm watching multiple feeds like a financial war room, waiting for receiver appointments that could come with dawn. Bank levy notices that might hit before markets open. The inevitable truth social hurricane where Trump's rage will pour out in all caps fury. Most importantly, I'm watching for Japanese markets opening Sunday night U.S. time, when Asian traders return to their desks to survey the wreckage. If this financial crash continues its rampage across global markets, Trump's personal real estate melodrama becomes the least of our worries. But for one man sitting in the White House, probably unable to sleep, watching through bulletproof windows as his name gets methodically ripped from the facades of his life's work, this moment feels like the apocalypse made manifest. Trump's empire stands under siege tonight. The walls he built to protect his fortune, his image, his very sense of self. This time, they're not just threatened. This time, I'm watching them actually breach in real time, brick by legal brick.